guys, Dustin here, and today I've got something pretty stinking cool, and I'm trying not to make the dad joke because it is the Coolfire trainer. Now, it's not the pistol, it is actually the barrel. Check this out. Shots fired, but not fired. It's a CO2 barrel that just fires CO2. We're just puffing gas, blowing back our slide, and then resetting our trigger and everything else. So it is like a Dryfire trainer's dream, because now we have simulated recoil. Instead of just sitting here going click, rack, I can't even do that right now because when I go click, it racks on its own. How it works is we just replace our factory barrel with their barrel and their recoil spring and system, and then we take CO2 and we go right here into the end of the muzzle. We just filled it up, and now we got another 15 or 20 shots just by doing that. So it's also very safe because we're not going to be able to accidentally load around in here. So I have some cert mags right here. The system itself, I recommend you go ahead and get those followers that allow you to use your empty mags, and then it'll hold your, it disables your follower, so that doesn't, your slide stops, so that doesn't go into place, and then you can just keep firing away and even practice reloads and whatnot as well. The first thing I thought when I should have had the camera on the first time I shot it, just for those first impressions, because I was like, whoa, that was potent. I expected it to be kind of, like an airsoft gun, the little gas gun, just, and I was like, I felt that. I was like, I have to see what this does next to a live gun. And so I did. I went and got my high-speed camera out, put a couple rounds in with the 9mm, and then put the Coolfire in. And you can see it's got quite the recoil. But here's what was super interesting, and we'll play the video over here. While the 9mm, of course, had muzzle flip, the Coolfire barrel actually, under high speed, shows a muzzle dip. Now, I didn't believe it. I was like, gosh, did I just slap the trigger or something? Because I was focusing on the camera. Maybe I had poor trigger control. So I did it again, and I lined everything up, and I just gave myself a nice surprise break. And lo and behold, it did the same thing. Because on a real firearm, of course, you're pushing that energy out. Slide goes back and, up. When the Coolfire, it's actually pushing your slide back. And so we get a little bit of the dip, but I couldn't believe it. I kept trying and watching and just seeing. It's like, because you kind of blink, you have that impulse. I didn't know it was going down set up. So it doesn't matter. That's the point. You get that impulse, and you especially get the resetting trigger, which is what I love. I love putting my Mantis on this. Of course, right now I have the light because I have my LAS holster on that fits the light, so it's all nice there. With the Mantis on, man, you can just go to town and just rack up the training because it's doing its own little thing, and it does the reset and everything else, but it gets better. Not only is it just the, Dryfire resetting recoil part, we have accessories. And so I'm going to take a little Allen screw here and bleed the rest of this out, because normally we would have to refill it, like I said, every 15 to 20 rounds. It's like a magazine. And that's what you expect with all, you've got the actuator and all the mechanics and only so much space for the air. Until we put our rapid fill adapter on here, and I recommend getting this accessory because it really changes things in two ways. One, now we have a bigger reservoir. We're going to top it off. Takes a little longer because we got a little more in there. Now we also have a laser. So now we have that feedback. You can get a reflective target and just pink, pink, pink. I'm not sure it's going to show up on camera, but you have that. They have an infrared laser. So we could use it with, like Mantis has a new system out that will show you on your phone where you hit. And there's some other ones out there as well. So you can have the infrared, so if you're just interfacing with your phone program, or night vision, or, I just wanted red because I just wanted the feedback myself, which is awesome when you want to use it for, say, point shooting practice. And we can just point shoot over here, and then point shoot over here. And then my kids are playing Halo this week, true story. And I'm like, point shoot on the aliens. So that's cool, and I do recommend that because it's going to fit through your holster if you have an open holster, and then you have that laser feedback, less refills, lots of fun stuff right there. How hard is it to swap out? I'm glad you asked. But now I have like 40, 50 shots of pressure in here. Tree! All right, that's probably enough. It's nice and kind of warm out here, so I'll take... Oh, Oh, yes. Okay, blast the cold air. And that's something interesting, too. The CO2 canisters, they, you saw me when I fill it, you put it upside down. Liquid. You want the liquid in the gun. But they said on the instructions manual, I read, they want your tank at 80 degrees and above. Not a problem in Texas. Now, if they needed it the other way around, that's a problem. All right, so now I have the extended out, so it's all empty. It's as simple as just field stripping your gun, guys. All we do, there, okay? We take the recoil spring out, try not to drop it everywhere on camera, put our live barrel back in, and our real 9mm recoil spring in, just like you would to clean your weapon. We're back in business. It's that stinking easy. So, I mean, I'm in love with this thing, and I'm just like, I want to, gosh, I just gotta tell you. Now, they make it for a lot of different guns too. I was like, for a well-kept secret as it was, I was very impressed that they had so many options available, because 14 different manufacturers, if I remember right, and as well as the manufacturers, they had over 100 different models of guns. Even Taurus. I'm like, not sure that many people train 300 rounds worth, but it's there if they want to. So, pretty stinking cool. I'm going to put it back in the long configuration mode. Oh, but before I do, there is a sacrificial part I want to show you about. It's not a big deal. It kind of goes hand in hand with how the thing works in the first place. And there it is. There's your actuator rod right there that will be pushing out when you fire. But this little blue piece, that's what your striker hits. Your firing pin hits that. And so you get a couple of them in a baggie, and they hold up several hundred. I have shot this thing thousands of times already, and it still looks fine. I keep an eye on it, because you're supposed to. And then you could mess up your striker if you whack it too much. There you go. Coolfire system. I think it's super cool. I'm in love with it, and I think you will too. They retail around, about $325 for most of them, for the entire kit, because you're going to need, way to refill it and all that good stuff as well. But after you buy the kit, you kind of have a discount if you want to trade, if you want to get a new barrel. It's like, hey, I want to practice with my 1911. And how reliable is it? That's what I thought at first. I was like, is it really going to work every time? Yep, because there's nothing to mess up. You have no misfeeds or rounds to go in. It's just pull trigger, it goes back and bang. And so even when it gets low, it still works so much. I can hold my thumb on it, and it still resets the trigger for me, because I can only hold it back so much. Thing's powerful. So that's a good way to show how much power it has, because I'm going to push as hard as I can, and it's still pushing me back a ½ inch as I'm pushing as hard as I can, and it resets the striker still. So that's how we're getting so much force to actually blow it back. I know it's not hurting because I'm slowing it down, but that's pretty cool. Check them out, coolfiretrainer.com. There you go. Thanks for watching today, guys. Stay safe, keep training, keep shooting. Okay, I love you, bye-bye. That's right!
Hostile RCXD spotted.
Did you see that? We good? Come on, Nussie! Come on, Nussie! I came in like a wrecking ball! Yeah! Oh, perfect!